Welcome back. As we learned in 2016, disinformation campaigns can be very powerful in swaying or intimidating voters. Sometimes those campaigns stem from foreign countries like Russia. In other cases, they can come from inside the United States. Recent investigations uncovered documents alleging the Trump campaign targeted black voters, not to persuade them to vote for Trump, but to keep them from voting for Hillary Clinton. It was part of a program called Deterrence. This year, the disinformation campaign has taken a new approach. We are seeing a rise in its use in Spanish language media, particularly social media, targeting Hispanic voters. In recent days, messages on WhatsApp in Spanish threatened Trump voters, prompting Senator Marco Rubio to issue this tweet: "The anonymous Spanish WhatsApp messages targeting or threatening Trump supporters in Florida is fake and could be the work of a foreign government." WhatsApp has become a real cesspool for false and misleading information, especially in stoking fears about Democrats and Joe Biden. And South Florida is considered a disinformation hotspot. I recently spoke to two researchers who have been studying this trend, Randy Pestana from FIU and Jacob Gursky from the University of Texas in Austin.
Randy, if you could, give me a sense of the scale of the problem and how it differs from what we were seeing in 2016 in Spanish language media.
This is extremely different from 2016, primarily because of the way in which messaging is occurring through these communities, right? So if you notice what's going on with the misinformation, disinformation spreading, particularly through WhatsApp groups, it's unique because you don't actually have to target within the United States. You don't have to target a Colombian in Miami. You can target a Colombian member's family in Bogota, and that message will spread throughout the community that way, right? So you're seeing a lot of legitimate figures also uniquely endorsing a candidate and promoting a certain narrative to communities to, in a sense, interfere with this year's election. This is not something you saw in 2016 outside of the prominent Russia case that we know of, but it wasn't done in Spanish media. This is the primary means in which Latin communities get their information, through Facebook, through WhatsApp, and through family.
Let me bring Jacob in, because this is an area that you study closely, you know, the use of WhatsApp. You know, most folks in Miami maybe watching this right now don't understand the influence that platform has. Talk to it a little bit and build on what Randy was saying in terms of the role that it plays in spreading disinformation.
Yeah, so we've been tracking trends in WhatsApp globally, and WhatsApp globally has 2 billion users, like 2 out of every 7 people on the planet. So in other countries outside of the United States, where it is just the norm for communication, the way SMS texting is in the US, groups have been just sharpening their knives and their strategies for spreading disinformation on these platforms. And the trend that we've noticed in the United States, where WhatsApp doesn't have the same penetration across the entire country, but does in certain subpopulations, is that those finely tuned strategies are starting to make their ways into these communities. And it's a very worrying trend.
So when you hear that, when you see that, so what are some of the types of things that we're seeing spread through these platforms? What types of, is it conspiracy theories? Give me a sense for what we're hearing, Jacob, and then I'll bring you in, Randy, as well. What types of things are we tracking right now?
Yeah, well, there are conspiracy theories, and there are things that are specific to the language that can take advantage of those cultural lines. And another thing is sort of this edging of groups, where a group starts out with one purpose and slowly becomes political, which is actually a trend that also happens in private Facebook groups or public Facebook groups, where
with coronavirus, for instance, people going online to find out information about coronavirus and then suddenly being led into a political discussion. Do you think that's by design, or do you think that's just a natural evolution?
I think it's by design, and oftentimes on these platforms that can host multiple levels of private organization, there are people, this is a trend that we see, that we've studied with groups like white supremacists on other platforms like Telegram, but in the same platform, like WhatsApp, there are different levels of private communications, and people on lower levels are organizing to deceive the people on the higher levels in ways that aren't intuitive to them. And then those people carry the messages in the mainstream.
Randy, is this dangerous, or what is the danger posed by spreading this sort of disinformation? We see disinformation being spread in English language all the time. What makes this different, and why is this more dangerous, in your opinion, if it is?
This is extremely dangerous. One, you have interference from other external actors, right? Like getting involved, legitimate figures. But the more important danger is this actually has the ability to change votes, right? A lot of folks in the community, the Hispanic community, and again, the Hispanic community is not monolithic, but what you're seeing is they get their news from friends and family. Because why would your friends and family lie to you? And if you have these messages coming from your family, both here in the United States and in Latin America and the Caribbean, you're more likely to believe it. And oftentimes you will see that you make up your mind the last couple of weeks and you vote like your friends and family. So
what are some of the messages that they're getting? Is it supportive of President Trump? Is it anti-Trump, or is it more attacking Joe Biden?
It's mostly attacking Joe Biden and the Democratic platform in itself. What's being shown within these WhatsApp groups is false equivalencies. You cannot be for the police and be for Black Lives Matter. You have to take a side. You cannot be a Democrat and a Catholic at the same time, right? And we all know this is a false equivalency. And the more this message propagates, it starts to circle into your mind, right? And this idea that every Democrat is now a socialist, and that's the message that's being portrayed within these WhatsApp groups. We know it to be false, but in these communities that actually live through socialism, like in Cuba and Venezuela and Nicaragua, it has a personal effect on how you and your family will vote. And in a state like Florida, which was only a difference of 120,000 votes in 2016, this makes a major impact.
Just to add a little bit more to what Randy said about the importance of figureheads, that's something that happens everywhere, and it's incredibly important. I mean, we've tracked certain strains of disinformation that are just, the goal is only to get it retweeted by the president or prominent figures because they know that that will be a big boon to them. Sometimes it's not even for the sake of spreading disinformation. Sometimes it's just to get the notoriety. So that reciprocal relationship between the people in power and the people designing this content is a huge part of this conversation, and it's something to keep in mind when something comes across your screen.
It's very interesting stuff. All right, now when we come back, I will talk to the head of the Democratic Party in Florida and the Republican Party in Florida as we continue this special edition of Facing South Florida.